Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. My name is Steven and this is the Storytime channel. We've got some great stories today, so let's jump right into our first one of the day by Corian0226. Can't use my cell phone at work? Have fun texting me when you want something. I used to work as a manager at a small business. I was the only employee on site during the day, so I was expected to answer the phone, check in deliveries, help walk in customers, etc. anytime they came in. Because I constantly needed to be available, I didn't have a real lunch break. I would just eat my lunch at my desk when I had time. One afternoon, my boss called me on the office phone and very casually asked, "Hey, what's going on? What are you working on?" I told him the project I was in the middle of, and he said, "Really? Because I've been watching the cameras and you've been messing around on your cell phone for the last 5 minutes. I explained to him that my fiance had texted because there was an emergency that had come up, and I was trying to help him handle it, giving him the account information, logins and passwords, etc., since I was working and couldn't handle it. His response was, "I don't care, I don't ever want to catch you on your phone again." I tried to explain that I didn't get any breaks or anything during the day, so I didn't have any of my own time to handle things that may come up, but he didn't care. So, knowing full well that the owners, the other managers, and staff members constantly texted me throughout the day whenever they needed something, I complied. The next day I came in, I left my phone in my purse. I had a smartwatch, so I could see when I got a text, but I didn't answer because I wasn't allowed to be on my phone. After 2 days of me ignoring their requests during the day and only answering their texts after leaving saying, "Sorry, I didn't see your text because I'm not allowed to be on my phone at work, I've already left for the day," my boss came in and told me we needed to have a discussion. He called me out on my malicious compliance, but also acknowledged that I was essentially locked in the office for 8 hours a day. So, going forward, I could take a half-hour lunch break where I didn't have to do anything else, and I was allowed to use my phone during the day as long as I didn't abuse the privilege. Here's a question for you guys. If you had to work an 8-hour shift, would you actually be able to go all 8 hours without even looking at your phone? To me, it seems like it would be a lot to expect of somebody, so let me know if you could hold up to that standard in the comments down below. Our next story is by Hsays. Don't fix the toilet because it's Friday? Thanks for the 2-week paid vacation. So I am a physician and worked in this clinic a couple years ago. It's 4 p.m. on a Friday. We had no more patients scheduled. I come out and chat with the receptionist and notice there's a stench sewage coming from the bathroom. Everything looks fine, but the toilet flushes a little slow. The smell brought flashbacks when this had happened at my own house 6 months earlier. I came home from work one day and my shower and bathroom floor had overflowed with poop and sewage. My dog stepped in it and walked all over the house. I will never forget. So I tell my receptionist to call our office manager and building maintenance. They said they'll come check it out on Monday morning. I said there's gonna be poop in the halls if we wait till then. We called the second time and the maintenance department sends a guy out. I can already tell he's ready to start his weekend already, so he peeks in. Doesn't check anything. Doesn't even flush the toilet. He comes out 5 minutes later and said it's the AC. I said it seems like a plumbing problem. Not sure why the AC unit would emit the stench of poop, but what do I know? I'm just a doctor. He said don't worry about it. He'll get the AC guys to come on Monday. I called the office manager and she said just let maintenance take care of it on Monday. I gave it the college try to convince someone to fix it, but no one wanted to call someone in on a Friday afternoon and stick around to see it through. Not my job. I decided to close the office and go home. It's 6 a.m. in Monday morning. I get woken up by a call from our receptionist and office manager. The toilet had overflowed and flooded the clinic with 2 inches of sewage. It soaked the carpet and up the drywall. We rescheduled all our patients for the week while they replaced the floors, tear out the baseboards and drywall, replace the drywall, and have a professional hazardous materials cleanup crew to sanitize and clear us to see patients again. All in all, I was told it cost 10 to 15 grand for the cleaning and repairs. I got 2 weeks off with pay since I'm salaried. My salary for those 2 weeks was around 10 grand. This doesn't include the 3 hourly staff, nurses and receptionists, that were paid to sit and answer phones telling the patients we were closed. Who knows how much money was lost in not seeing the patients and billing insurance? I estimate the total cost was around $50,000. My contract ended 2 weeks after that, so that final month was quite nice. I wonder what legal grounds the clinic would have in this case against the person that came to check it out. If they came, they checked it out and they said, "Oh, it looks fine, it's probably the AC, we'll send the AC guys out." Would they be on the hook for anything? Because very obviously it flooded back over. I guess it depends on if there was a contract signed or if they work with the clinic somehow and there's some kind of agreement made. Our next story is by Untrustworthy Fart. Don't need soundproofing? Roger that. In short, I used to do some work in a complex of labs which were leased out to researchers, some of which were specialized, some were general purpose. Every year, some tool and admin would interrogate us on exactly why we needed a particular feature of a specialized lab, and if we couldn't make a strong business case, we'd get turfed out to one of the shared general purpose labs. This would net more money for the complex as they collected leases from multiple users for each shared lab. One year, I was asked to defend my use of a heavily soundproofed lab by writing a business case for why an experiment needed to be done in absolute silence. This was actually just a premise. The reality is they wanted to clear us out and open the lab up as another shared space. I calmly explained that I couldn't write this as there was no need to conduct my experiments in silence. It was therefore agreed that I would shift my equipment to a new lab and do some calibration trials there with someone from site admin supervising to see if the new space was suitable. Skip to the day of the trials. I have to say, it was quite refreshing to see a creeping sense of realization wash over admin dude's face when I turned up in a hefty pair of ear defenders with earplugs underneath. In this case, the realization was that the soundproofing wasn't to protect my experiment from sound. It was to protect everyone else from the sound of my experiment. I explained that during the calibration trials, we would send a series of white noise bursts to receiving microphones and check that the sound pressure read by the mic was close enough to what was supposed to be sent by the emitter. We'd then adjust gains accordingly. Admin watched as I keyed up the test sequence. Bursts 500, burst duration 1 second, interval random. Volume 140 decibels. Context: 140 decibels is roughly on par with the report of a .22 caliber rifle. The lab we were in was about the size of a largish bathroom. It took exactly 8 bursts before I was politely asked to desist, and it was agreed I could return to the soundproof lab. This is gonna sound incredibly random, but I'm a big fan of the NBA, which is basketball, and some teams had contests to see how loud their crowd could get. I believe it was the Kings who set a decibel record, so I found out from reading that kind of things that 140 decibels or slightly above that is actually where you can start causing acute hearing loss. So hopefully this admin that was listening into this didn't have any sustained damage. It was actually kind of risky to subject this dude to 140 decibel burst sounds without any hearing protection. The next story was written by Endoman13. I'll let you know every time I use my garbage can. I've never met anyone that said, "Oh good, an HOA." We all have trash cans, but the sight of them offends the delicate eyes of some. So I complied with the new rule of no seeing bins from the street. I find a notice of my bins being out, which is surprising because I'm the only one who touches the cans, and I know I am 100% compliant. I call in and ask why I got the notice. The full description says, bins in the driveway with lids off. I asked if this happened to be on a Tuesday, and sure enough, it was. Wednesday is pickup, and I was doing my weekly cleaning. I was freaking using them. I calmly explained through gritted teeth. "Oh, okay, I'll remove the notice." Great, but how do I prevent this from happening again? "Oh, I guess just notify us." "Alright," I said. "I'll notify you every time I'm using my trash cans." "Oh, that won't be necessary." Clearly it is. That was 5 Tuesdays ago. Today, I once again called promptly at 10 o'clock and let Alan know I was about to use my trash cans. "You know what, OP?
I'm just going to put a hold on any trash can notices for you.
Hey, that would be swell, Alan. That would be swell. I'm very anti-HOA. I wouldn't want to live in a place where they dictate how you can and can't live your life, or at least manage your household. Obviously, I'm not advocating for people to be complete slobs and disorganized messes of houses and yards, but who wants to be told what color their house can be, where you can park your cars, how tall your grass can be, just all this stuff. And then you have to pay them to tell you that stuff too. If I have anything to say about OP's story, it's that I wish they could have gone on for even more Tuesdays. The next story was written by bettinerz. No refunds, no exchange, it's store policy. Today, my mom, 60-year-old female, and I, 26-year-old female, went off to this hardware store in Canada that not only sells hardware goods, but also automobile goods, garden things, small home appliances, and kitchen stuff, like pots and pans. My mom needed to return a defective pan she bought almost 90 days ago. I told my mom that we might not be able to get a full refund, but let's go to the customer service section to ask what our options were. So off we went. She went straight to the customer service area, and she seemed like she was going to be alright, so I told her I would browse around the store. 10 to 15 minutes had passed and she hadn't called or texted saying she was done, so I got concerned and went back to the customer service area. When I got there, I could see my mom visibly upset and that a customer service employee was shaking her head and dismissing my mom. We'll call that customer service employee Hannah, early to mid-20s. My mom saw me and started walking towards me and just told me that Hannah was being very rude, condescending, and overall disrespectful to her. I asked her what happened, and the conversation was as follows. Mom says, "Hi, I would like to return or exchange this pan since there was a scratch here when I opened it since I was going to use it this one time." Hannah says, No refunds or returns on open items, it is store policy." Well, I wouldn't know if the product would be defective if I don't open the packaging. Hannah rolls her eyes, widens her eyes to talk to my mom as if she was talking to a little kid that doesn't understand English. "No returns or refunds." Well, this is clearly a defective product. I was going to use it but noticed the defect. "But you have opened it and it is not unopened and cannot be returned and refunded as per store policy." "But I haven't used it once." Hannah's eyes getting wide again and talking down to my mom as if she was scolding her like a child. "No refunds on opened packages. Do you just want to speak to my manager?" Mom says, "Yes, please." Manager says, "Hi, we can do an exchange for you since it is still in resaleable condition. But it has to be of equal or lesser value, or else I am going to charge you for the difference." With her eyes all wide and stuff. "As per store policy." Mom says, "Okay, I will go look for another pan." At this point, she has finished telling me what happened, and I am livid for someone talking to my mom like this. So we were now browsing for another pan that was of equal or lesser value. I took a look at the receipt and mentioned to my mom that since she bought the pan on sale for $39.99, originally $139, she needed to find one of equal or lesser value. We saw the same pan, but it wasn't on super sale anymore since it was now $59.99. My mom said that it was fine, she'll pay the $20 difference since she really likes the pan. I urged her to look for something of equal or lesser value since this crap store doesn't deserve my mother's money. So while she was looking, I noticed that the original pan she liked had written in bold size 1000 font, "Lifetime warranty" on the packaging. So I reviewed the back of the receipt to look at the store policy. Store policy is the following. Unopened items with a receipt in original packaging and returned within 90 days of purchase will receive a refund to the original method of payment or will receive an exchange. Items that are opened, damaged, and or not in resaleable condition may not be eligible for a refund or exchange. Exceptions include returns, exchanges or warranties on an item without a receipt may not be accepted. A defective item is subject to the manufacturer's warranty and will be repaired or replaced. And lo and behold, the smoking gun. Exceptions include a defective item is subject to the manufacturer's warranty and will be repaired or replaced. I explained to my mom that she doesn't need to pay the $20 difference and she can just get it replaced. as per store policy. She was super hesitant and wasn't sure it was going to work and insisted she will just find a pan worth $39.99. I said, "Mama, I love you and I'ma wreck this witch today." My mom laughed and she sent me to talk to Hannah. Hannah makes eye contact with me and the pan and doesn't say "next in line." I just walk up since she was just staring at me. "Hi, were you helping my mom earlier about the pan?" Hannah rolls eyes. "Uh-huh. From my understanding, she wanted a refund, right?" Yeah. Okay, cool. So I talked to her and we just want to get a replacement pan then. No need for a full refund." "Okay, where's the pan?" "We don't have it. My mom left it here with you." Hannah looks around. "Well, it's not here. I can't do the transaction without the pan, so you have the pan." I can assure you, and if you would like to review the CCTVs, we do not have the pan. Hannah then gets angry and yells for her coworker to look for the pan, in front of multiple customers. After 5 minutes, they found the stupid defective pan. "Okay, but she bought this for $39.99 and is now $59.99, so I will charge you $20 difference plus tax." "Oh, well, since the plan has a lifetime warranty, and that your store policy clearly states that a defective item is subject to the manufacturer's warranty and will be repaired or replaced, I would just like to get it replaced since repairing this pan is nearly impossible." Hannah, shocked Pikachu face. "But, as per store policy, thin with our new pan. Always read the fine print, except for the times when you don't want to. At least that's what most of us do, right?" And our final story of the day is by Neatpit, "No Phones Allowed." I was at the post office with 2 packages to mail. While I waited in the queue, I pulled up my address list in the Amazon app so I knew where to send them. When it was my turn next, an attendant said to me, "I can take the next person who's not using their phone, please." It was said intentionally for me to put my phone away. So I put it away, proceed to the counter, and place my packages down. I'm asked where they are going, and I reply that I don't have them memorized, which is why I had them ready in my phone to expedite this process. So I just stood there until the attendant asked me to take my phone back out. I understand it can be rude to be talking on the phone, but not being allowed to use it at all for any purpose is a bit much. I feel like it's pretty obvious this person was kind of stuck up. Maybe they had some bad experiences, but there's no excuse to be saying that kind of stuff to a customer. And I'm sure if there was any good level of management there and they witnessed that, they would get reprimanded pretty good for that. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. So if you have a favorite story of the day, let me know which one and why in the comments down below. But besides that, if you enjoyed the video, please consider giving it a like and subscribe if you haven't. And make sure to click the bell to turn notifications on too so you'll never miss an upcoming video. No matter what you did, whether it was liking, commenting, subscribing, thank you for supporting me right here on the Storytime channel. It all helps the channel grow immensely, so thank you so very much for supporting me. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and until next time, I'll be reading even more stories to share with you guys right here on the Storytime channel.